Well, if you know me at all, you know how passionate I am about whitetails and whitetail hunting and bow hunting and shed hunting. And since our last 3 Minute Thursday, we were on the verge of getting out and maybe looking for some whitetail sheds. And then Monday happened. Here in Minnesota, southern Minnesota specifically, we got 18 inches of snow, kind of reset the whole winter. So I guess some of those whitetail sheds that I was hoping to go out and find off of some of the deer we've got on our farm are going to have to wait. In the meantime, the good news for you is 3 Minute Thursday. So thanks again for stopping by this week for 3 Minute Thursday. I want to take you through a really simple tool and a really simple fix for removing distractions from your photos. I use Lightroom, and I think I've been pretty clear about that. Lightroom and Photoshop primarily for my photo editing. The good news for you is if you don't have Lightroom, Adobe does have a free 30-day trial. It's great for editing photos. I will put a link below for that 30-day free trial if you want to check it out yourself, and definitely worth it if you're going to be batch editing and editing photos in general. It's definitely the best program that's out there. So take a look, download that free trial and give it a go if you want. Hopefully some of these tutorials are helping you out. Now, that being said, removing distractions from photos, a big old spot of acne on somebody's face or something distracting in the background or in the foreground for that matter. The first thing that I want to tell you is, if at all possible, remove those distractions before you shoot the photo. Take a look at the surroundings, take a look at what's in the foreground, take a look at what's in the background of the photo. And sometimes it's as simple as going and picking up the piece of garbage that might be in the foreground, or moving a garbage can that happens to be right behind your subject, or if there is a fixed object like a street sign that's in the background, sometimes just moving yourself and the camera a few inches one way or another is going to either hide or eliminate those distractions. Pay close attention when you have the camera in your hands. Now, obviously, sometimes you come back to the computer or you look at the photo when you're done and realize, hey, there's something that's really distracting, there's something that went wrong, and I need to fix it. And that's where I go with the spot removal tool in Adobe Lightroom. So let's go take a look at what that looks like on the computer. I'll run you through in just a few minutes how to use it, and I think it'll help you to remove some of the distractions that you might have in your photos. This is a shot that at the time I didn't realize it, but I had a little tiny hair on my sensor, which sometimes happens. Definitely want to be using one of those little air rockets to get that off of there. But you can see right in this area right here, that shows up on every image. Now that's especially going to show up if you shoot at a smaller aperture. I'm shooting this at, if you look over here, at f20, so lots of stuff in focus, including the any dirt or debris that's on your sensor. So definitely going to want to get that out of there. I'm going to just zoom in so we can see a little bit closer. So under our develop settings over here, you can see that the spot removal brush is right in this area right here. I like to use the keyboard shortcut Q for that. And your spot removal tool pops up. Now it's got two circles there with a little plus on the inside. Let me explain those real quick to you. The first one is just the size of the brush. The second one is feather, which is going to affect how many pixels it'll kind of buffer on the outside. And then opacity is pretty obvious that will replace whatever opacity you set. I almost always leave that at 100% because I truly want to remove the stuff that I've got. Now, it will find, in this case, I've got it set to heal. Heal, it's going to find content-aware pixels and try to heal it without much of a seam. If you go to clone, it's going to truly replace pixels from your selected area to the area that it chooses. So I've got mine on heal most of the time. Set my size here to fit that piece of debris that's on my sensor. I'm just going to simply click and drag over the top of it and let it go, and it will find pixels that it feels fit the overall spot there. And as I get rid of that, you can see that it really does truly make that disappear. If I remember correctly, there was one spot over here on the side of the Yeti that we maybe would want to remove, so I'm going to make this just a little bigger. Click and drag. Choose a wedding from this weekend. And I've got a photo of the bridesmaids. This great photo that we got out in the out in these pine trees. Down here, some of the snow we'd been tramping around. It looks a little bit rough looking. There's a spot down here that's, got a big footprint. There's kind of a chunk of wood over here. So just some kind of minor details that you maybe would want to try to get rid of. So as I go to my spot removal tool again, I'm gonna use heal. I'm gonna go down here and just quickly get rid of that little piece of wood. Now it went over into this grass. I'm certainly gonna try to find a little bit more of a clean area of snow to let it replace there. This footprint down here, a quick click and drag. You could dig in as far as you want, even going to the point where some of these little sticks and pieces of grass, if you wanted to get very detailed and really, really clean things up, you certainly could, as long as you can find areas that it will replace. Occasionally I will have to go into Photoshop and really do some fine tuning, but I've found that spot edit tool does just an awesome job for most of the jobs that I have to do. Well, there it is. That's the spot removal tool. There's obviously a whole lot more that you could do with it. You can get creative with it. And for some of those real sticky issues, you can obviously go into Photoshop and use the clone stamp tool. And there's a lot of other things you can do in Photoshop that we'll look at later. But for some quick, simple, one click and drag type of stuff for removing some of those things, the spot removal tool is the way to go in Lightroom. Encourage you to check it out. And like I said, if you don't have Lightroom and you're curious about it, I'll put the links below for you to check that out if you want to do the 30-day free trial from Adobe. And if you like these 3-Minute Thursdays and what we might have coming forward, hit the subscribe button. Even share it with some friends that might find this interesting. But again, thanks for stopping by this week. Hope this helps you out a little bit in removing some of the distractions from your photo.